Hi there, Chris here. So I wanted to make a tensioner for this very cool lock that Brummy sent me. So, and he sent it with 2 keys. And so I thought, well, I'll use one of the keys, cut this down, flatten this off, put it in the holder, boom, 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 tensioner. But I was concerned with at the end here, the part that I'm really going to use doesn't look like it's attached very well. And you find that a lot. You can almost feel like there's nothing holding this end. So I thought I would solder it. And I have sophisticated soldering stuff in the garage, but I don't want to go in there and resurrect all that stuff. So I went to my hardware store and I got some paste flux. And this is for really all kinds of solders. And it comes with a little brush and a little paste. So I got that. And I got some electrical repair solder. And it has 96% tin and it has some silver in there. Now you can get different amounts, but I thought I'll just try this out. These things were, I don't know, $5 and $6 maybe, the paste in this, and this is your silver solder is in a little thing. And then I just used a plumber's torch. So, what you kind of want to remember as you're reinforcing this with solder, or if you're doing a bent nail and your hole's too big for your upright, you can just put a little solder on there. But with this system, if you notice, there's not any extra room there, so you don't want to slop your solder over. In other words, if you get a blob running down this thing, you're just going to have to sand it or file it off. So you want to be careful on that. And it took 25, 30 seconds. And this is going to depend on how hot your torch is and the size of your flame and all of that. But you heat up, hold these in a pair of locking pliers away from things. And you heat up the most dense part, put the flame here. And after 25, 30 seconds, you can see it's getting hot. And you put a little paste flux on there, and that will clean, the flux cleans it. And also there's a little flux in that solder. So then once you get that going, and you have your flame on it, just touch it with your solder to see if it's going to start melting. And you want it to melt you really want it to look like this with your solder, just a little bit. And you want to, of course, get both sides. So I did that, and of course put way too much on there and had to sand it off or file some of it off, but this is what I came up with. So I've reinforced that area, and then I've cut off all the rest of this and flattened it back here so that I can put it in a holder. And it does fit into the lock, and it does tension. There's the curtain, and there is going to be some room for my pick wire. Now, I've done this before on the holder. I've done this before where I think, oh, well, I'm just going to put it in my UK lock picker setup. So, as you can see, this one is too thick to fit in here, and I don't want to cut down my production tool. So I thought, well, I'll just file this down. Okay, so I got that filed down, and I thought it fit. But like I say, I've done this before, and these screws aren't threaded long enough on the shaft to grab that thin thing. So, okay. That means I'm going to put it in a different style, one of my homemade styles. And I'll show you how that works. This is one, I can't remember if this was an ERA key. I don't know, it was one I cut down for padlocks. But if you do that, you need to scallop out a place for this. You see, it has to fit in there. So I ran out of time. Where's my... I ran out of time, so I haven't put the little notch in there yet. But you want the top of this nut, this plane right here, to be right along with here, so that you have a nice straight shot with your picking wire. Anyway, that's what I've done so far. It's not pretty. I also cut into this a little bit too far, but I did fill it with solder, so I think we're fine. Anyway, hopefully with another, I don't know, 20 minutes, putting a little scallop in this hole, learning, teaching my camera how to focus, then I will have a pick wire, and then I can, or a tensioner. And it's, of course, I keep from this locks so that the standoff here is perfect, and it does fit in there nicely. So anyway, Jack Fox was interested on this stuff. So it's just some electrical solder, repair solder, and some paste flux, just a plumber's torch. Now you can get better, more refined tools, little tiny torches that have a little tiny flame, which would be easier to use, but I'm going with the stuff that's around that most people can get their hands on. And it's not too hard. You get the feel of it when you'll know when you get it hot enough that your solder starts to melt and flow. And take your heat away at that point and make sure you get it all the way around. All right, that's about it. Ask a question if you want, and I will try and answer it, and we will see you next time. Whoa.